Field Journal Number 1. I arrive in late autumn. The tundra seems vast and empty to the horizon. Only two dark pyramid-shaped chums, traditional Nenets tents, with tendrils of smoke rising from their tips, stand out against the crisp blue sky. No reindeer yet. Rather, I can hear the barking of dogs as they run between a chain of sledges. I look around, searching for the reindeer, but only the tundra greets me. As far as the eye can see, only brown earth and azure sky. As I walk to explore the land, I discover the difficulty in moving before the land freezes and snow falls. It is very difficult to walk and I tire quickly, feeling much pain in my knees. The uneven ground makes it necessary to plan each step, and the numerous water pods create muddy soft soil. We cannot travel any great distance in the sledge under these conditions, as the reindeer are at risk of injury. October 21, 2016, Yamal Peninsula, Northwest Siberia. Field Journal Number 2. It's my first morning in the chum, and I wake to unfamiliar surroundings. Whispering in a foreign language. I sneak a look from my warm sleeping bag, and through the darkness I see the fur head cover of Lena. Above me dangles boots and clothing made of fur and reindeer hide. For a moment I'm overwhelmed with the knowledge that I will be spending the next 50 days living in these tight quarters with this family. I wonder how they must feel sharing their home with a stranger. These feelings are completely balanced with the knowledge that kindness, generosity, open hearts and gratitude are part of a universal language. No matter where we are born, we share these common human expressions. And so, the first moment we make eye contact, we are all sharing smiles. October 22, 2016, Yamal Peninsula, Northwest Siberia. Yamal OR at the end of the world. Living in small chums constructed of reindeer hides and log poles, and often separated from their nearest neighbor by a day's snowmobile drive, the nomadic Nenets herders trek every winter along ancient migration routes across the vast Siberian tundra along the Yamal Peninsula. In their native language, Yamal means the end of the world. Herding hundreds of reindeer and surviving daily in extreme Arctic conditions, many Nenets families maintain their traditions, adapting them, where useful and necessary, in response to the increasing pressures of their changing world. Unfortunately, this environment is currently under strain from outside forces. The Yamal Peninsula contains one of the largest natural gas reserves on the planet. Following a succession of atypically hot summers, it appears that Siberia's permafrost is melting at an unprecedented rate, posing a significant threat to those who call this region home. As the permafrost melts, it is releasing millions of tons of carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, damaging the Nenets' traditional pastureland, threatening their reindeer herds and leading to increasingly unpredictable weather patterns. Widespread pipeline construction also disturbs their campsites, and passages across the land, causing the loss of the Nenets' traditional migratory patterns. We've been waiting for snow for weeks. We need to migrate to the winter camp where the reindeer herd will have enough food and Lena's family can settle in with their new infant. However, snow has been slow to arrive and the baby's birth is impending. As with all births, planning on this timescale can be tricky. Lena and her husband, Leonya, are hoping to minimize the duration that Lena is away from her critical domestic responsibilities, as preparation for winter migration requires both men and women to be wholly engaged with activities for both daily sustenance and long-term survival. The plan has been for Lena to contact the helicopter department at Salakad Hospital as she nears her delivery date. The helicopter will transport her and her daughter Christina to this hospital, where she will stay for approximately 2 to 3 weeks to deliver her child and recover before returning by train, snowmobile, and sledge back to the chum, a journey that takes approximately 20 hours. Lena has once already sent the helicopter away when it arrived a month earlier to take her into the village. Each day Lena can remain out on the tundra with her family is critical to their survival. Yet time is running out and there is still much to be done. Regardless of her physical condition, Lena continues to accomplish her wide range of daily responsibilities. She is the first one to wake and the last to go to sleep. Every morning, she makes a fire, unties the dogs from their place in the chum and lets them outside. Then she sets about preparing the tea table for breakfast. After they eat, Leonya, who tells us to call him Leo, leaves to go work with their reindeer herd. The family has several hundred reindeer that are grazing many kilometers away. On Leo's departure, Lena goes outside in the frigid temperatures to cut more firewood, a task I offer to help with, but am amazed to discover I am almost incapable to perform. Apparently, there is a technique to swinging an axe, one that even though I'm physically fit requires a practiced swing over the shoulder. My attempts are near disaster as my upward swing threatens to take out everything and everyone behind me. Even in her 9th month of pregnancy, Lena lifts the axe with a deftness I can only wish for. I am forced to leave the chopping to her. I can help by bringing the firewood inside, as Lena's morning is filled with other responsibilities, beating the fresh fallen snow off the chum walls, splitting the chimney to empty the black particles left behind by the smoke, gathering items from the various sledges, and collecting water from the reservoirs. These have become iced over, requiring Lena to break them open with a pole to reach the water beneath. Once inside again, she prepares food for, then feeds, the dogs, and then cooks a meal for lunch. All the while, Lena is taking care of Christina, who is remarkably content occupying herself with found objects and the ice pods, her favorite. I grow to love this small child, and spend many hours playing with her. November 18th. The ice layer has thickened during the past 3 days and Leonia says that he would like to start the migration in a couple of days. This will be the 6th time since my arrival that the family has attempted to migrate. To prepare, the several hundred reindeer must be herded into a tight circle for traveling. This requires Lena's assistance to handle the dogs on leashes as they circle the herd, dogs barking. While the men lasso the herd, Lena helps by circling approximately 1,000 reindeer, managing a large dog tethered to a long leash for several hours to keep the herd together until the lassoing is finished. The dog barks and in his enthusiasm runs around, tugging the leash and making the work even more difficult, as Lena has to continue pulling him back and controlling the pace of the walk. It is extremely tiring work which requires constant attention as well as physical strength and agility. I try it and am amazed at how difficult it was to keep the dog away from the herd. After only a couple of rounds I am utterly exhausted. Towards the end the dog is pulling so hard that Lena slips and falls on her stomach. We reach her almost immediately, extremely worried. But she gets up quickly, smiles, and assures us she is okay. She continues until the job is complete.